Avoidance will train you to accept and expect less without even ever saying a word. No, they don't tell you to settle for less. They don't demand that you settle for less. Their silent training teaches you to settle for less if you don't hold boundaries. The way it works is that they come in pretty hot and heavy early on. They're actually meeting your needs early in that relationship. They're passionate, they're showing up, they seem consistent. But then as the relationship progresses, they begin to withdraw more, and more, giving you less, and less. But it happens slowly in most cases. It happens subtly. And what happens is that you start to learn to not bring up your needs because it results in shutdowns. It results in defensiveness or even conflict. You start to self-abandon, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering them. Because when you're walking on eggshells and you are allowing them to go hot and cold, or just patiently waiting when they disappear because you're desperate to have your needs met again, you are learning to accept less without even realizing it. They'll pull away for a while, but when they return, your brain is just so happy and so relieved to have them back and to be having your needs met again, even if it's just breadcrumbs, that your subconscious mind wants to ignore the fact that they're only giving you breadcrumbs. And you're so desperate to get any crumbs that you can get at all, you're walking on eggshells, afraid to assert your needs because you're afraid that your needs are going to trigger them, and then they're going to leave and none of your needs will be met at all. You start to become grateful for breadcrumbs when they do a small act or gesture for you. Maybe it's a gift, or maybe one time they actually make a plan with you and they show up and it feels great. You seem so grateful for it. You feel grateful for it because you're so used to accepting so little that the tiniest bit of effort that they do put in feels like euphoria to you. They become so sensitive. When you communicate your needs, they shut down, they withdraw. So you're walking on eggshells, which trains you to take sole responsibility to keep the connection alive. You're blaming yourself every time they shut down. You are blaming yourself for when they're going cold. And you are essentially taking the entire burden of the relationship on your shoulders, navigating it and communicating ever so carefully and self-abandoning, because if you don't, you're afraid the relationship will fall apart. In the end, due to accepting consistent breadcrumbs, half efforts, walking on eggshells, and accepting less and less, you're not only conditioned to accept less, they've also conditioned you through their words and actions that asking for anything, asking for the bare minimum, is asking for too much. And this is why holding boundaries is essential. Get in touch with your boundaries, which are your limits, your needs of what you'll allow, what you won't allow, what you'll subject yourself to, what your needs and expectations are. Because when you know your boundaries like the back of your hand and you can trust yourself to hold your boundaries when needed, you'll never fall into the trap of accepting less and less, because when they start to step over boundaries and fail to meet your needs, you will show up for yourself and say, hey, this is what I need. This is what doesn't work for me. And you value your worth enough that you know that if they walk away because you have boundaries, you're willing to let them go because you're not going to settle for less. And that's the most secure thing that you can ever do for yourself. Hold boundaries.